We are live.
Hi everyone! Welcome to our very first Lunch and Learn session. You're probably wondering what this is all about, right? Something new. So first, the new thing is our studio. So some of you may recognize that this is not our classroom in our store. We are at another location with a brand new studio. So it's coming along and we're very excited about that. I should probably introduce myself too. I'm Joan Rogers of Patchwork Garden, and we are so happy that all of you are with us today. All right, so a little bit about Lunch and Learn. If you are unfamiliar with our store, we are based on a lot of education, or we were. So during this past year, that has been rather difficult to project to people. So we have been asked repeatedly to when are we going to start our demos again? So, where we would have people in the classroom. So this is another way to bring you our demos. They will be short and sweet. Every 2 weeks, the second and fourth Fridays of the month, and they will be about 15 to 20 minutes in length. And they will feature all different kinds of products, techniques, whatever, right? Something new to the market. We'll try and keep you in tune with everything. Okay, so we are ready to go, I believe. We're going to switch cameras and we're going to focus on what is our project for today. So here we go. What better way to do a lunch and learn? We figured most of you would be hopefully sitting and eating lunch, little salad, a little sandwich, a little soup, a couple of cookies, whatever you're wanting, and then visiting with us. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do some sweet little placemats, and not just square placemats or rectangular, but oval placemats. So we have our table set. But let me take our table away and we will show our placemat for today. So how did we get here? Okay, what I began with was a quilted piece of gray pin dot fabric. So you would take a yard of fabric, approximately 36 by 42 inches, and quilt it. Inside our quilt sandwich is a piece of Soft and Stable. So that is on your interactive page for today. If you are unfamiliar with Soft and Stable, it is a product from By Annie, and it is a little foam-like. Very easy to quilt on. You could do a grid, you could do an overall, you could do absolutely anything you wish, okay? But it does give you a really nice substance for your placemats. Okay, so from a yard of fabric, you could cut 4 placemats that are approximately 13 by 16, 17, and 1 table runner that is approximately 14, 15 by about 40 inches. Okay, so yours might be just a tiny bit different. All right, so we're going to start out with a rectangle. Okay, and how are we going to make our curved edge? Now, I know right now you're thinking, I'm going to take a plate. And you can take a plate. But my problem always is I can never find the plate that is going to fit properly. So, thankfully, Creative Grid created a roundup tool. And this tool can create a gentle curve for your placemat or a tighter curve for your placemat. I chose the gentle curve, and this is so easy to use, right? So you're going to take the straight edges of your ruler and you're going to lay them along the top of your rectangle and the side of your rectangle. If you are doing this for the very first time, you may want to use a marker. And we use the Self Erase marker by Quilter Select. It makes a nice deep purple line that will eventually go away. It just air erases, but it doesn't disappear in 10 minutes. It stays on, okay? So you get to visualize. So I marked each of my corners, okay? If you are absolutely certain of what you want to do, you can actually just cut, right? So aligning top and side, and all we're going to do is cut. And I'm in tight quarters, so I am not getting my lift. There I go. And as easy as that, I am rounding my placemat. Okay, I'll do one more. I would love to talk about the Quilter Select cutter. That's actually probably why I'm not cutting through. I love the Quilter Select cutter. That is on your interactive page as well. But somehow, in the process of getting ready for this, my cutter walked a little bit. But I love it. Okay, so all we're going to do is trim them into ovals, and we have this beautiful new fancy looking placemat. Okay, and how sweet are these? We have, if you're going to use a subtle fabric as your background, how fun are these sweet little appliques? So we have these available. They are pre-cut, pre-fused as a selection, and we have a 4-pack of all flowers. We have a 4-pack of all flip-flops, because it's getting to be flip-flop weather. We have a 4-pack of all umbrellas. Look at how fun. And we have a 4-pack of little birdies. Or you can choose a variety pack and get one of each. The 4-packs will not have only this peachy color, it will have the other colors as well. Okay, so just really, really fun. All right, and then all you have to do is peel, fuse, and stitch. And you're just going to stitch through your whole quilted placemat. Okay, all right, so how easy is that? Another product that I wanted to talk about briefly today, because this can also be used, these curved corner cutters on quilts as well, right? So that you don't have to necessarily have a rigid corner in your quilts. You can soften them up. This is called the curved corner cutter. This is made for smaller pieces. So I have a little sample here of a small quilt, and it has a squared off corner. But what if I didn't want that? The really awesome thing about this ruler is you can do 2-inch corners based on my border, a 1.5-inch or a 3-inch. So this is for smaller pieces. The roundup tool is for larger pieces. But look how fun that would be. So my border lines line up perfectly. So I'm keeping my quilt nice and square, and I would just round that off, of course, before I put the binding on. But just an option for you, right? So an excellent ruler for smaller pieces, and the cut around is for larger pieces. All right, now because you have rounded corners, you need to create bias binding. I am going to talk about next and lastly one of my absolute favorite rulers. Okay. This is called the Bias Binding Simplified Ruler. This is awesome because I can cut bias binding, but I always forget how to fold my fabric. And maybe you do too. So right across the ruler is a little tutorial as to how to fold it. The other thing that's really cool is this is exactly 2.5 inches wide. So you could cut your binding just ruler edge to ruler edge. If you want to bring it in 1/4 inch and cut 2 1/4 inch binding which is actually what I did on the placemats. There's a fine dashed line. And if you want to bring it down to 2-inch bias, there you go. One last thing about this ruler, it will tell you if you are cutting 2 1/4 inch bias strips cut from 40 inches width of fabric, a 1/2 yard will give you 270 inches, 3/4, and a yard. It will tell you how many inches of binding are being made. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so because I'm a little nervous, I'm going to use my ruler. This is a fat 1/4 for camera purposes, but can you use a yard of fabric or 3/4 of a yard? Absolutely. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do that it tells me is take my rectangle and fold it up. Now again, I have leftover here. It's okay. The next thing I'm going to do is bring my top corner down and I'm going to match it to the bottom. So point to point. Okay? The next thing I'm going to do, because all of this by folding is making it very doable to cut your fabric. The next thing I'm going to do is bring it down again to match my point. And this whole time, you are going to try and keep so I'm going to do a better job. You're going to try and keep your fold lined up. There we go. Now I did a better job. Okay. And then all you're going to do, I changed the angle. So this is now biased. See the stretch? So all I'm going to do is take off my fold. Okay. So I'm going to remove my fold. And now, if I was going to cut 2.5 inches, I would just cut. I'm actually going to flip my ruler around because I'm going to use these. So I'm going to cut 2 1/4. And all I'm going to do is cut and continue cutting. And now, when I open these up, I have bias. Is that not awesome? So all you're going to do is join those bias strips. Let me get this out of the way. We're going to join those bias strips like such, right? So that you overlap right sides together and you get these tiny little dog ears that take you 1/4 inch to 1/4 inch. When you are done, you're going to press them open. And then all you're going to do is fold that binding in half, just like you always do. And you have the perfect bias binding to go around the soft edges of your gentle curve on your placemat, table runner, or quilts in the future. So I top stitched my binding on and rolled it to the back and hand stitched it. But could you absolutely stitch it on the back and bring it to the front and top stitch with your machine? Of course. All righty. I think that Helen is telling me no.
Well, Joan, we probably want to tell them that they get 10% off if they buy anything today through midnight.
Oh, that would be an excellent idea. You know, I'm never about that part. I'm always about the teaching. So thank you. So everything is on your interactive page for today. I'll come and visit with you again because I'm done with the demos.
Oh, but we're not yet. Next
Okay. So meet us in 2 weeks on Friday, March 26th 12:30 p.m. And we will have something new for you too. But yes, absolutely. Please visit our interactive page if there was anything at all that you enjoyed today. I feel like these are very, very useful tools. So this is the roundup. Then there is the curved corner for smaller projects. And there is the bias binding. This is awesome. Everyone should have that in their little stash of rulers. There is the Quilter Select rotary cutter. As soon as I can find mine, I'm going to put an alarm on it. And then there is the Quilter Select self-erase marker for cutting. And lastly, soft and stable. But of course, you can use batting as well. It's just that it gives it a nice plump look for your placemats and your table toppers.
So if they like the new studio, let's see some thumbs ups and hearts, guys. Do you like the new studio?
And what do you think of this as a lunch and learn? Do you like that concept?
Let us know.
Let us know. Thank you for my prompting.
And guys, watch tonight on Facebook. We're going to post a photo of the studio you don't see from the other side, from the camera side, because you will be surprised at what's all here.
Oh my goodness, you cannot imagine what goes into this. The cameras, the cameras. So.
And one last thing. Saturday.
Oh yes, please join us tomorrow morning for our Saturday Smile, 9 a.m. Whole new program again. It's getting to be spring, so we have lots of fun stuff for you. Okay, thanks so much. We will see you soon. Bye.